The sixth and final class of the Zoo Masterclass series is all about your affiliate promotion. So up until this point, we have everything put together for a promotion, basically minus what is needed to send traffic to that promotion. So since you are building an audience, you essentially then utilize that audience to send traffic to the offers that you want to. So in today's class, I'm going to be teaching you about how I put these affiliate promotions together. The main part of this particular class is about using your email newsletter. Since you're building up an email list, you obviously will want to be sending out emails to that list when you are ready to promote something. I will, however, at least briefly cover towards the end of this class a couple of other potential traffic methods that you could use to drive people to these offers for you. The ultimate goal, though, no matter what tactic you use or whether you decide to kind of use different bits and pieces of my strategy or if you try to do the whole thing, you're ultimately still looking to simply send traffic to your affiliate promotion. Sometimes this is going to be that bonus page that you have set up on your own website. If you have put together some kind of a pre-sale offer, maybe a video, different kinds of bonuses that you're going to be offering to it, then you would obviously be wanting to drive traffic to that page on your website. And that page on your website then contains the affiliate link for the offer that you are promoting. However, there may be some times where you really want to promote a product and maybe you don't get the chance to put together a big elaborate bonus campaign for it. You can still promote things directly with nothing more than an email, including your affiliate link in that email. And it is okay to do that every now and again, but ultimately when you go beyond that, you do the extra steps putting together the bonus offers and the videos and things of that nature for the offers you want to promote, you're simply going to get better results from it. So with that said, I want to give you a quick overview here before I actually dive into this stuff. As I mentioned before, your main goal here is to drive traffic to your affiliate link. This can be done in a number of different ways, and I'll be kind of discussing these as we go through tonight's class. One of the biggest things here that is worth mentioning, though, is targeting different benefits and uses for the products you are trying to sell to people. Ultimately, I see this happen a lot. A lot of affiliate marketers, they'll see a product that they want to promote, and they'll put together an email for it, and they'll send that out, promoting it, and then they never mention it again. They never send out any other additional emails for that same particular product. A lot of affiliate marketers actually just jump from one product to the next, and they'll send out one email for each product that they are promoting, and they'll just take whatever sales they can get off of that. It's not that you can't do that type of a strategy, but when you go the extra mile on one of these promotions, and especially if you've put together videos and bonuses and things of that nature for it, that one single email that gets sent out will usually not be enough to really make it worth your while to go all out. Whereas you can do that same work and just write a couple of additional emails to be sent out over the course of the launch period, usually about 4 to 10 days or so. And you can simply make more off of essentially doing the same work. The only extra work you really have to do is just writing additional emails. Well, a lot of times people don't want to promote something more than one time because they don't really believe that it's going to be worth their while. They figure if somebody sees it the first time and they don't buy it, why would they buy it when they see it again? It's actually a pretty well-known fact of marketing that sometimes you have to put something in front of somebody's face more than one time, sometimes even upwards of like 7 times to actually convince them to purchase something. So this is one reason to send out multiple mails. Sometimes people also just don't have the money right away. Maybe they don't get paid until Friday. And if you don't kind of remind them about it and keep them interested in it over the course of a few days, then they may simply forget about it and end up not purchasing it. One of the ways, though, that you can get away with sending out multiple emails for the same offer is by doing what I began with here, targeting different benefits and uses for that particular product. Pretty much anything that you want to sell could be used in a number of different ways. It could also help people in a number of different ways. If it's software, is it going to help them to save time? Is it going to help them to build websites faster? Is it going to help them discover keywords or niches or products that are more difficult to find otherwise? Any product that you want to sell has these different types of benefits and uses that are associated with them. Well, you can take these different uses and benefits and target each of them one at a time in each of the emails that you send out. That way, you're still promoting the same product over and over again, but you're promoting it in a different way. You're targeting a different angle each time you promote it. And as a result, you end up with different people that are essentially interested in purchasing it based on the information that you are giving them. This is again something that I'll be getting a little more into throughout this class and even showing you some actual examples from my email templates. So until then, the next thing relevant to this, having to do with sending out numerous emails for one particular offer, has to do with mailing frequency. How often should you actually send out an email to people that are on your list? Ultimately, this can vary quite a bit. There are some periods where I just might not find a good product that I think is worth promoting to my audience, and so I might go a week or two or something and not send any emails at all. But then there are other times when I want to promote a particular product, and I know it's an awesome product that would really help people, and so I want to push it pretty heavily, especially if I go and do the extensive bonus offers and videos and the whole 9 yards with it. So in a situation like that, I might send out emails every single day, at least for a short time period, however long that launch is usually running for. Sometimes I may even send out multiple emails in a single day. This is okay to do. I just wouldn't make a regular habit of doing it all the time. The more you email people, the more chances you're essentially giving them to unsubscribe from your email newsletter. So you kind of want to find a healthy balance between how many mails you can send out and being able to earn enough from a promotion, but also not irritating your audience to the point where they want to leave. In a lot of cases, this mailing frequency, I'll make it heavier on the first day and the very last day of the launch. Those 2 days, for any launch are going to be your best days. They're going to be the days where you make the most money. And so it simply makes more sense to send more mails on those days because they're better earning days. The first day of a launch, you usually have the lowest prices. You also have the fact that nobody else has purchased this thing already, so your audience members have likely not seen it yet. When you get to the last day of the launch, you have different things that you can target. You start being able to target urgency and scarcity depending on how the launch is structured. A lot of launches will only last for a week, and then after that week, the price is going to go up, or sometimes the product is removed from the marketplace entirely. And so you have these other angles at the end of the launch that you can promote. And those angles actually work very, very well, which is why the second or the last day of the launch is among the best earning days. Usually that first day is going to be the best one, but I have had some last days that have actually been better than the first day. In a lot of cases, though, it's a little bit less, but still pretty comparable to that first day. So everything else in between there, you still want to keep promoting it, especially if you've put a lot of work into a particular promotion, and especially if people are responding to it really well, if they're purchasing the product, you can always increase your mailing frequency in the middle of a campaign. Again, this is something that I'm going to get into a little more as we proceed through this class. In my email templates that I've put together for you guys, it's not just random emails that I've sent out. I've actually picked out 3 different affiliate promotions that I did, and I've given you every email from that entire sequence for those products. And I not only give you the emails, I give you the scheduling for those emails. So I tell you exactly when and what times I have sent out all those emails. And I even share with you my earnings from those promotions. So you can kind of see how all of this stuff works together, how more frequent mails at certain times can result in higher earnings simply. The last thing that I really recommend to do here is to simply follow the results of your campaign, and if needed, make adjustments to it. Like I said before, if you have a promotion that is going extremely well, maybe you originally only planned to send out 3 or 4 emails on that promotion. If it starts earning a lot more than your average promotion does, because you will run into that type of thing where some products are just more appealing and they sell a lot better. When you find something like that, increase your mailing frequency. Go back into your campaign, figure out where you could add some new mails into it, and write those up and simply adjust your campaign to take advantage of the fact that you're promoting a really popular product. Simple changes like that can really make a major, major difference in your overall earnings. You can sometimes even run into a situation where maybe you're promoting a product and it doesn't go over like you thought it was going to. Maybe you thought it would be a really great product for your customers, but now that a couple people have gotten their hands on it and they're sharing their experiences with you, maybe you're starting to doubt whether or not that is actually the case. Maybe you get some information about the vendor. I've had situations in the past before where I've been promoting a product. I thought the product was great, but come to find out, my customers that were buying the product maybe weren't able to get a hold of customer support for the product and, be able to get anything resolved like that. And so certain things of that nature sometimes make me doubt whether the product is really the best thing to be promoting. And sometimes I might do the opposite. I might go in and scale back my campaign. I've even gone in and completely canceled campaigns before because it just didn't turn out to be what I was expecting it to be. So there's certainly nothing wrong with doing that, even though it's not exactly fun to kind of waste some work in that manner. But if you're trying to do what I'm doing and maintain some kind of a special relationship and kind of a bit of a respect, from your audience with you actually promoting quality products to them, I think at least things like that are worth it in the long run. It's better to cancel a bad campaign than it is to anger more of your audience and let it keep running. So with that said, I want to get into how you actually put these campaigns together now. The first step of this is simply to plan out your email campaign. To a certain extent, you may have already done a little bit of the legwork for this part of the process when you were putting together your bonus offer. During the bonus offer creation, you were trying to figure out different benefits and uses for a product that you could talk about in maybe your pre-sale videos, in your review video, or maybe even things that you could talk about in your bonus videos. Basically, all of those different topics you came up with can still be utilized for your email campaign. That's basically what you're looking for here. You want to come up with a list of these different benefits that you can use as a topic for each of these emails that you are going to send out. Also keep in mind how the launch itself is structured. I'm especially referring to the way the price of the product is going to work throughout the launch period. You sometimes have certain time periods where the price is going to be at the lowest and then the price will be increasing. You need to be taking note of things like that because you can utilize those in your emails to promote that urgency to buy. You can say, hey, the price on this is going to be going up at midnight tonight, or the price of this is going to be going up, later today at 2 p.m. or something. And it gives people a reason beyond wanting the product and wanting to get your bonuses to actually go ahead and pull the trigger right then and there and to go ahead and buy the product, because if they simply wait, it'll cost them more. A lot of times at the end of the launch, you have things like that scheduled in as well. It might be that the product is disappearing entirely. It might be that the price is going to be going up by 5 or 10 times at the end of the launch. It's again another really great opportunity to include those angles in your email campaigns. So ultimately what you want to do is to come up with a list of these different benefits and features. You could even talk about the bonuses that you're going to be offering and any types of urgency or scarcity that might be included with that particular launch. You then want to use this information, this list that you have created, to plan out your pre-launch and your launch emails. The pre-launch emails are not an absolute necessity, but if you have the time before a launch actually takes place and you can do these pre-launch emails, they do really help quite a bit with the results of the overall campaign. It helps to get people interested in the product before it's actually available to buy. It also helps to get people to essentially be lined up waiting to buy through your affiliate link as soon as that product goes live. To give you an example of this, I just want to give you a bit of a rough outline here of something that I might do for a product that I am going to be promoting. I'm going to go in kind of vague terms though. Let's say I have some kind of a software and maybe it helps to save time with niche research. It could maybe help to discover low competition keywords. I might also have, say, a 4-part bonus video training series that I've created for it. And then maybe on launch day, price goes up at, say, 2 p.m. And then maybe on the last day, maybe the price goes up 10 times or something like that. So these are kind of the main features, essentially, the main events that are happening for this particular launch. Some of them have to do with the price and or the way the launch is actually structured. Some of them might have to do with the bonuses that I am offering people. And then others will have to do with the actual product itself. Essentially, anything like this that you can come up with on a list can again be one of these potential topics for an email that you are going to send out. So I could then plan out my emails for my campaign using this information. Maybe I'm going to do a pre-launch email and I'm going to talk about this particular subject, saving time with my niche research. Then maybe on launch day, I will be targeting this particular thing, having to do with the fact that there's this early bird pricing on the product, especially since I have already kind of pre-sold the product with my pre-launch email, so people will kind of already have an idea of what the product is at this point in time. So I might focus on that price increase. Next up, let's say maybe on day number 2, I'll decide to target my 4-part bonus video training series. This is actually something that I really have not seen a lot of other affiliates do. Since I put a lot of work into the bonuses that I create, and I know that at least some of my customers follow me and buy things from me because specifically of these bonuses that I offer. Sometimes they can be good selling points to make in my email campaigns. So instead of focusing on promoting the product in that email, I'll focus on my bonus series. What is my bonus series about? What is it going to teach them? How is it going to help them? How will it make this product better? Ultimately, though, you're giving people different ways to think about the same product here. That's the whole point of this. So now maybe on day number 3, I'll talk about discovering low competition keywords with the software. And then let's say this is only a 4-day launch. On the final day, then I'll talk about the fact that the price is going to be going up at midnight that night. Maybe it's a big increase. Maybe, maybe the software will just be taken off the market entirely. So you can see how these different ideas in the beginning, these different benefits and features and angles can turn into a complete plan for this email campaign. So now I would then take this information going forward, and the emails that I write, this would be one email. I want to craft an entire email having to do with saving time with my niche research using this particular software. And that's the focus of that entire email. So each email is different. Each email has a different focus, a different angle that you are trying to sell that product with. This again is how you can do multiple mails for a single offer and not really bore people with your emails. Give people a reason to actually want to read them all. So now I want to get into some email writing tips for you. Before I actually go a little deeper and start showing you these email templates, and ultimately when I get into the email templates, it should help to make a lot of this stuff clear. One of the things that I find to be a really useful tactic, not just for me, but this would also work for you too, especially if you're going to be following my training and essentially trying to teach other people, the things that you are doing online as a marketer. You can talk about your own personal experiences when you are writing out these emails. You don't have to have something where you have accomplished, the world. You don't have to be giving them earnings reports or traffic figures or anything like that. Just to give you an example here, save time with niche research for this particular email topic. If I wanted to talk about some personal experiences, to do a little bit of a storytelling in this email, I would simply think about this topic here, saving time with niche research. Personally, I do a lot of my niche research manually, and so I spend a lot of time doing that sort of thing. I can utilize this personal experience with this particular product that I'm promoting because that's essentially one of the benefits of that product that I want to be focusing on. So I could talk about how I typically spend hours per website project researching the niche before I even write the first word. I'm laying out a personal experience of mine, and I'm going to talk people through essentially how I have overcome that problem in that personal experience story that I am trying to give them. Now, don't make stuff up. If you don't have a good personal experience to share with them, you don't have to do this on every single email. What I'm trying to do here is to show you a number of different ways that you can go about crafting these emails, to give you a bunch of different situations so you can try to figure out, which one is going to work the best with a particular email that you want to try to craft. I would really recommend to try as many of these different tips as possible, but don't try to put it all into one email. Take one of my tips, try to apply it to one of your emails, and see how it works for you. This way you can kind of get a bit of a feel of how your audience is responding to these various tactics. I then, with this particular email and my personal experience that I'm trying to lay out here, I then might go on to talk about, even though this process is really important and defines whether my site will succeed, I ultimately waste a lot of time doing it. Recently, I discovered new software that actually accomplishes everything I want to achieve with my niche research, but it can do it in a fraction of the time. So this is a pretty short example here. I don't want to bore you with making you sit here for 10, 20, 30 minutes while I write out a long email, because sometimes these emails can be kind of long. But this should give you a rough example, at least, of what I am talking about here. I essentially use a personal experience of mine, something that I have gone through that relates to the topic that I want to talk about. Then I kind of emphasize the importance of this type of thing, and I talk about how this problem has been overcome. So I spent a lot of time with this. It's an important process, but until I recently discovered this new software, I was basically wasting a lot of time doing this, but now this new software can do all this stuff for me with still the same good results, but it can do it in a fraction of the time. And then I encourage people to go and take a look at the new software. So now I might put my affiliate link or the link to the bonus page on my website down below this call to action here. These personal experiences help people to connect with the product. Sometimes it's not enough to say, hey, this software is great, you're going to save a lot of time with your niche research. Well, why does that matter to somebody? What if somebody doesn't even know what niche research is? What if somebody's never even built a website before and they don't understand how big of a problem this really is? There's a lot of different reasons why you want to not just in plain English tell them the problem and that this is going to fix it, but you kind of want to explain why so they understand, so they can connect and say, yeah, I'm experiencing that problem too. This software sounds cool. I want to go check it out and at least see if it can actually do this or not. Something else that's really important, number 2 here, maintaining your mission statement. Really early on in this series, we talked about when you were selecting the niche that you want to target, we were talking about your mission statement. Essentially, what makes you different from the other marketers that are in your niche? Why should people want to follow you? What is kind of that ultimate goal, and how do you go about getting to that goal? With my Amazon affiliate promotions that I do, it's all about creating unique websites. It's all about unique content, putting value out there. So this is something that's important to remember when you are writing out your emails, because you do not want to contradict your mission statement in your emails. It will simply give people the wrong impression. They won't really quite know what to expect from you, or what your information is geared towards if you bounce all over the place. But if you can always maintain that set viewpoint, no matter what product it is you're trying to promote, you'll actually have people that become very accustomed to that. Sometimes I don't promote products that, there's all kinds of launches going on every day on JVZoo, for example, so I can't possibly promote them all or anywhere close to them. But surprisingly, I get emails on a regular basis from people saying, you know, I saw somebody else promoting this product to me, and it made me stop and think, what would Ryan say about it? Would Ryan recommend buying this product or not? And even though I'm not promoting the product, people still think about me. People still think about whether or not I would approve of a product. And so I'm not only giving people a good reason to want to follow along my emails, but I affect other parts of their lives too. Even when I'm not involved with it, they still consider the things that I try to teach them. And so that's ultimately what you want to see with your mission statement. You want people to remember that about you. It'll help to set you apart from everybody else. The next thing, use a variety of angles. I've kind of already been talking about this a little bit. All those different benefits and features that you can come up with about the product. Each of these topics is a different angle that you can promote, and therefore you can craft an email that is completely different, goes after a different aspect or a different reason why somebody would want to buy that product. You want to change these up from one email to the next, especially when you're promoting the same product, to give people different reasons to want to purchase it. This is something super, super important that I always try to maintain throughout any email promotion that I am running. Not only is this useful when it comes to your earnings, but I actually find focusing on those different angles that I could promote to be really useful for me personally. It simply makes it easier to write emails. You start with figuring out all those different angles, and then you just simply elaborate on an angle, one thing at a time to craft an email. It kind of gives you a little bit of guidance with putting those emails together. The next thing, technically the next two things here, I kind of want to talk about combined. When you're doing promotions that have bonus pages, and sometimes you might do a promotion that doesn't have a bonus page, this can actually affect what you want to put in your email that you are writing. When you are promoting a bonus page on your own website, that bonus page, is going to review the product and essentially promote the product even heavier for you. So when you're crafting emails that are going to lead to a bonus page, the emails do not have to be really long or in-depth. For example, this particular pre-launch email that I started putting together, technically I could leave it just like this. I could put a link right here to my bonus page, and this gives people enough of a reason to be curious to click. I haven't really told them what the software does. I haven't told them the name of the software or anything like that. I've kind of left it a little vague. In a lot of ways, you can kind of think of this as like clickbait. You want people to be clicking on the link that is in that email, but you don't want people to be doing this when you are directly promoting an affiliate link. You only want this to happen if you're using the bonus page, because that bonus page of yours is going to help to sell that product. You just need to get them to the bonus page. So if you're promoting a bonus page, you can go short and sweet like this, leave your email a little vague, and give them a reason to want to click on the link. You can even get a little more specific with my call to action here, for example, how I said, take a look at this new software here. I could say something like, I could get a little more specific and say, let me show you the main reason this software saves me so much time. And then I give a link. Again, the point here is to entice the person to click on the link, to go to your bonus page, and then your bonus page does the work in selling that product for you. By comparison, though, if you're not promoting a bonus page, if you're using a straight affiliate link in your email, you want to write longer, more detailed emails because you're not going to have those bonus pages doing that pre-selling for you. It'll go straight from the email to the sales page of that product. So if I was trying to promote, say, this same product yet again here, but I wanted to not use a bonus page, I just wanted to use a direct affiliate link, I might begin my email like this. Have an affiliate link here, but then below my affiliate link, I'm going to keep going with my email. And I'm going to talk about what I was just talking about up above, but now I'm going to go into a lot more detail about it. In fact, one of the things that I strive to do with these longer, more detailed emails is to share something useful with somebody, information that might be helpful to them even if they don't buy this software. So I might go on to talk about my actual niche research. Maybe I will give them a brief rundown of what I go through typically to do my niche research, so they can truly see, yeah, wow, this is a lot of work that this software is going to ultimately accomplish for me. It also gives people that don't buy the product a reason to still want to follow your email. If somebody never buys the product, but you've still explained to them the way you do your own niche research, that information is useful to them. They say, okay, well, even though I may not have the money to buy this software right now, this is good information. And some people will go out and they'll try that stuff on their own manually without the software. That's quite okay because you're building goodwill with your audience members that way. But more often than not, it will help to convince your audience that it's simply worth their while to purchase that particular product to help to overcome those problems. This also kind of ties in with number 6 here, using multiple links in longer emails. If I'm going to write out an email like this and kind of have a bit of an intro, and then I'm going to have an affiliate link, and then I'm going to go into a long, detailed explanation down below. Below my long, detailed explanation, I will end up with another affiliate link down below it all. This gives people multiple times to where if you've essentially convinced them or intrigued them at this point in the email, a lot of times they'll go ahead and click on the first link. If they're not quite there yet, they'll usually keep reading. And then by the time you have gone through your next explanation, more people, again, might be ready to click on your affiliate link. So anytime you have a pretty long email, beyond, I usually put it somewhere in maybe the 7 to 10 lines. If I'm writing out lines like this, if I end up with an email that's maybe 7 to 10 lines long or longer, I'll often end up having a second affiliate link built into it. So I'll have one kind of partway through the email, usually a little more towards the top of the email though. And then the final one is usually going to be all the way down at the bottom right before my closing. Now my closing, that also brings me to my next point here, creative closings. In most cases, I close all of my emails just like this, to your success, Ryan Stevenson. But one thing, and this isn't exactly something that you have to be doing, it's more or less something that you can do just to kind of give your audience more of a reason to follow you, because you change things up a little bit more so than the average marketer does. I like to sometimes try to entertain people a little bit, to get a little bit of a chuckle out of them perhaps, with a creative closing sometime. What I mean by that is this part here, to your success, this can be changed to kind of gear it towards what your email is about. And or you can give yourself a bit of a nickname. To your success, Ryan hates wasting time, Stevenson. So relates to what my email is about, but just kind of puts a bit of a whimsical twist on the end of your email. Again, it's not necessary to do this kind of a thing, but when you're writing emails over and over and over again, and people are, reading these emails, any minor little thing like this to kind of break up the monotony of it, to break up the routine, can be useful. A lot of people do take note of this kind of thing. And sometimes they might just open your email just to see what kind of whimsical nickname you have given yourself that day. Things like that can go a long way, believe it or not, to increasing the results that you receive. The next thing here, number 8, encourage audience engagement. This is something that at least in the last year or so, has become even more so important when you are running an email newsletter. A lot of the free email services that are out there, things like Gmail, for example, they monitor what kind of interaction somebody has with the people that are emailing them. They monitor, whether you're opening emails from particular people. They monitor whether you're clicking links on those emails and whether you're ultimately engaging with that person or not, specifically by replying to their email. In fact, on Gmail, when somebody replies to an email twice, the same email address twice, Gmail is a lot more likely to start putting the emails from that person up in the top part of the list, in that important section, as opposed to putting it down in the lower list of just the normal inbox, or potentially even sending it off to the spam box. So when you can encourage your audience to engage with you, but more specifically to do it by replying to your email, you can actually end up increasing the amount of exposure that your emails receive by simply making them more visible in a lot of those free email services. One really easy way that you can accomplish this sort of a thing is to put a simple closing down below where you put your name. Something like this is about all it takes to accomplish it. A simple statement down at the bottom of your emails that encourages people to reply to your email. Need help and or have questions? Just reply to this email for a personal response from me. Pretty straightforward and simple, but people will actually get to this point and, they'll be like, oh, I do have a question about this product. It would actually be pretty cool to get a response from this guy and to see what he has to say about it. So a lot of times this will encourage, not everybody obviously, but at least some people to reply to your email, to ask you questions, to simply make comments. You can do something like this and say, solicit essentially reviews from people. Hey, did you pick up this product that I was recommending for you to buy? Let me know what you think about it. Reply to this email and, give me your opinion on it. You can do polls where, you ask people different questions, especially if you're building a bit of a vague audience. Like, let's say, for example, let's say you decide to target affiliate marketing as a niche, and you don't really specify specific affiliate networks. But maybe after a while, you get a couple thousand subscribers or something. Maybe you start to wonder, are people that are on my audience, do they use a particular affiliate network more commonly than others? You could create a bit of a poll and just ask people, hey, what affiliate network or networks do you use? And encourage them to, respond to you to let you know that type of information. Any kind of engagement like this, again, as long as you can get it to happen through an email reply to your newsletter email. So whatever email you're sending your newsletter out from, you would need to be monitoring that email address to be able to do this type of thing. The more replies you can get people to send to you, simply the better exposure, the better open rates that your emails will likely end up receiving going into the future. Still down here at the bottom of my email, one more thing that I include is an affiliate disclosure statement. Now, I do not necessarily put this at the bottom of every single email that I send. Typically, I will put this at the bottom of an email that has a direct affiliate link. So if this affiliate link was a JVZoo affiliate link and it went straight to the sales page for that product, then down below at the bottom of my email, I would want to put my affiliate disclosure statement. This statement here, you guys can find as part of the email templates package. It'll be, once you open the zip file, it'll be sitting right there, affiliate disclosure email closing. You can simply add this exact statement down to the bottom of your emails. Again, I only put this at the bottom of emails with a direct affiliate link in the email. If I'm promoting to a bonus page that is on my website where I'm trying to pre-sell the product and, offer the bonuses for it, I will put that affiliate disclosure on the bonus page instead of in my email. But if you're only doing the email, if, they're not going to be landing on a website of your own after they click on one of these links, you just simply put this disclosure down in the bottom of the email. This is more of a legality thing, more so than something that you need to be doing to increase sales. It's more for the FTC, actually. I can't say for sure whether that's required outside of the USA, Regardless though, I'd still recommend that everybody includes that with any affiliate promotion that they do. The last thing here is diversify your link. This is something that I find to be pretty helpful. If I have a pretty large email campaign that I'm going to be doing for a particular product. Let's say I'm going to be sending out 5 emails or maybe even 10 emails for one specific offer. Sometimes it can help to change up simply the link that you are promoting. If you're promoting the bonus page on your own website, that usually ends up being the link that you put in your email. But some of your emails that you send out, especially kind of more in the middle of your email campaign, you can change that up and sometimes just put a direct affiliate link inside of your email. This is actually a tactic I've used before and have had a lot of success with it. There's even at least one example in the email template package of doing this type of a thing, where a lot of the emails I'll send people to the bonus page, but then a little later in the email campaign, I might send out one email where it directs people straight to the affiliate link, but then I might just add an extra sentence down below that. Want to take a look at my full review? Go here, and I provide the normal link for my bonus page. The point here of diversifying your link kind of has to do with the same concept of using a variety of different angles to promote. Sometimes people see that email coming from you each day and they notice that the link in it is the same, and they might not go visit it as long as it's a link that they already know. So you change it up a little bit, you give them a different link to go check out, and that can essentially help to give them a different perspective on that product. So my bonus page that I typically am promoting, that's kind of one perspective on the product, but you know, what if the way I'm trying to sell that product through my bonus page, what if it's just not right for at least some of my audience members? You know, those people, I might have better luck with sending them direct to the sales page. It at least gives me more possibilities, gives them more angles, essentially, to have that product sold to them with. So now, I want to go into my email template package that I have provided you guys for this class and walk you through some of these, show you how you can be utilizing these for your own email campaigns. The biggest thing here, the point of having these email templates, is so you can learn from my approach. So you can see not just, you know, a random example perhaps of an email that I might put together, like this that I just typed out for you guys, but instead so you can see an entire campaign that I have put together. So you can walk through every little piece of it from start to finish, see everything that went into it, and even see the results that came out of it. In the email template package, it's a zip file, Zoo Masterclass email templates that I've provided for you guys. Inside of this zip file, you're going to see all of these things here. These first two text files are just simple statements This one is the affiliate disclosure that I was talking about a minute ago. This one is a way to encourage audience contacting you by email down in the closing. I gave you two different examples here. This one's similar to the one that I typed out for you not long ago. Need help, just reply to this email for a personal reply, or need help, contact support. This is something that I used to do, actually. I really prefer more to be using this tactic these days for the sole reason of the email newsletter or the email services that I was talking about, how when people are replying to emails, it's a lot more likely to consider future emails from that person to be important. That's why I would instead encourage focusing on a reply. If you want it to go through a support ticket system, you can actually set up the email address that you use for your newsletter to be connected to a ticket system, so it automatically creates a support ticket for it. There are kind of ways that you could combine those two tactics, essentially. Everything else here that is included with this email template package are the actual email campaigns. I have included 3 of them for you here. Each of these named after the product that I was promoting. To give you an example of what is included with these, this is my Fresh Store Builder 6 campaign that I did. One of the files that you can find included is an email schedule. This tells you which emails were sent and when they were sent, according to the launch time, essentially. So for this particular launch, I had 4 pre-sale emails. They were each sent out at 6 a.m. All these times, by the way, that are in any of these email schedules, they're all Eastern Standard Time. So these were all sent at 6 a.m., 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, and then the day before the launch. So the 4 days leading up to the launch, I was sending pre-sales each morning. Then on the launch day, I sent out what could technically be even considered a 5th pre-sale email, 3 hours before the launch actually started. Then I sent another one at the launch time. And finally, on that same day still, I sent a 3rd email at 7:30 p.m. That one I sent only to the people that did not open this particular mail though. Everything else that I sent out, these were all individual emails sent at different times of the day to try to simply reach different people that are on my newsletter list. You likely have a habit of your own when it comes to checking your email. Maybe you check it first thing in the morning when you wake up. Maybe you check it when you get to work. Maybe you check it on your lunch break. Maybe you check it when you're home at the end of work for the day. A lot of people have some kind of an email checking routine like that. And so by sending emails out at different times of the day, you can often reach different people on your newsletter list. So I sent one at 8 a.m., one at 6 a.m., one at 5:30 p.m., another one at 6 a.m., another one at 3:30 p.m., another one at 8:30 p.m. There are actually a decent variety of different times that I really recommend to promote to people. 12 a.m. until 3 a.m. These are all Eastern Standard Time zone times, by the way. So this is midnight until 3 in the morning. I also like 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. 8:30 or 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. These are really the main time slots that I will typically end up scheduling mails for. Just based off of my own personal experiences in when people seem to be reading their emails the most, when they seem to be, opening them, engaging them, purchasing products that are promoted from them. These are kind of the best hours to do that within. But there's not really one specific hour that I will always go for. I try to change it up a lot because, sometimes people check their emails at different times of the day. There's, at least at the 6 a.m. time slot, there's a pretty decent chunk of my audience that's used to me sending out emails at 6 a.m. and they will open them then. But there's other people that seem to just completely miss my 6 a.m. emails. And I might be a lot more inclined to catch them if I send out like a 7 p.m. or an 8 p.m. email. So simply keep that in mind when you are scheduling your own mails. You do not want them all to be going out at the exact same time of the day. Try to change it up a little bit. Even though I didn't provide you guys with that file you just saw me doing before, I'm going to include that in the members area for you guys later. Best email times. I will load that up just so you can have this for a reference. So now, before I continue on, let me point out here once again that on this final launch day for this particular promotion, I sent out 3 emails again. So I sent out 3 on the last day, and I sent out 3 on the first day. And then I sent out 1 on day number 2, and 2 of them on day number 3. And then 4 of them before the actual launch took place. So this was a 4-day launch. During those 4 days, I sent out 9 emails in 4 days. And then the 4 days before that, I sent out 1 email a day. This is probably one of the heaviest promotion schedules that I have ever done on any promotion, really. So that's kind of on the upper end of the scale. You can see how that worked out for me. In the course of 4 days here, I made almost about $6,000 off of that particular campaign. So you can see why having more than just one single email is worth it. I even break down my earnings into day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, so you can really see how things progressed, how all that matches up with the launch mails that I am sending out. So you can see, what was really effective. Now, when it comes to these actual templates, you're actually getting the real email that I sent out when I was doing that promotion. I thought about changing these to kind of make them more generalized templates, but I really felt like they would be more worthwhile for you in their full form, so you can see, how I have actually written these. You can also see the things that I have actually promoted. For example, in my pre-sale emails for this particular series, I wasn't promoting a page on my own website. I was actually promoting a YouTube link. That YouTube link takes people to a pre-sale video. This particular video here is that first link that I was just showing you. and I again focus on one particular topic for it: fast custom Amazon sites with Fresh Store Builder 6. So that's just a pre-sale video. That pre-sale video then has a link down on the bottom of it that points to the bonus page on my website. This is the page that I end up promoting later on to actually get the sales on that offer. So all I did was send people, at least initially, to a YouTube page. I'm getting them excited here about this software launch that's going to be taking place. And you know what? I did it again on day number 2. With my links, I even include down at the bottom, just in case you missed my mail yesterday, you can find part 1 here. So I give them the new link for the new video, and then I gave them a link for my previous day's video as well. I continue on the same way here. Day number 3, I have a part 3 video. This video again is covering a different aspect. This one's talking about custom homepage creation. So I'm again focusing on a different feature or a different benefit or a different use with each of these pre-sale emails. Now finally, my launch day email. In this particular email, I change it up now from sending people to YouTube video links to send them to the actual page on my website. So this is the bonus page on my website where that offer is being promoted from by me. So this is where I have my affiliate link. This is also where I talk about the bonuses that I am offering for this particular offer. So I didn't send them to this page until the actual launch day. I actually did it about 3 hours before the live launch took place to give them a little bit of time to go through all of my videos, and I simply had a countdown timer running on the page so it would open up that affiliate link at the time that the launch opened up at 9 a.m. that day. Again here, I'm still promoting a different angle with each separate email that I do. On this one, I say, see my complete Amazon site live. This email actually had a huge response in terms of the number of people that opened it just simply because of the subject line. I'm showing people a complete Amazon site that I built, and I'm not charging them a penny to do it. What I did was, while I created all of the bonus videos and all of the pre-sale videos for this particular product, I created an Amazon site with that software in the process. So then when I was doing my actual promotion, I actually shared that live Amazon site with people that I built using this particular software. And then in the bonus, they get to see me build that site. So it all connects together. It's all intended to give people, real reasons, to let them see something in action so they can make a educated decision on whether or not that product is right for them or not. Now when it comes to the actual launch time, this is the first email that went out when the launch product was live. So at 9 a.m. that day, when Fresh Store Builder was available for purchase, this particular email went out. Typically, I do not recommend putting the name of the product in the subject of the email you are sending out, unless you are doing a very heavy pre-sale process like I did with Fresh Store Builder here. Over the 4 days leading up to this email, I sent out emails having to do with Fresh Store Builder, even though none of those emails were really focusing on like the name of the product. I was really more focusing on like different features of that product. At this point though, on launch day, people are already familiar with the name of that product. This is also to a certain extent kind of geared towards people that might be on a newsletter of more than one marketer at a time. When you see an email come in like this, if you are used to my bonuses, my bonus training classes that I offer with a lot of the products I promote, this will help to catch your eye. It might even help to draw you in away from other emails that other marketers have sent out. The actual email itself, I keep pretty short and sweet and to the point though. My goal here is I want people to be clicking on this link. I want them to go to my bonus page. I want them to look at the videos that I have put up for it. So I don't want to kind of stall them out in this email too much. You can see a lot of my other emails leading up until this point though in this campaign. Quite a few of them were longer and more in-depth because I had more of a reason to kind of want to explain things to them at that point. Now at this point with the product live and with my bonus page up, I want to get them to this bonus page and ultimately to get them to click on the affiliate link that is on that bonus page. I also use the different angles like I was talking about earlier with this process. I'm talking about my exclusive training that I am offering in this particular email. I even briefly hint on the fact that there is an early bird price for this software that's going to be ending soon, even though I don't give them specific information on when it is ending. So essentially, the main reason here, again, as I mentioned before, you want to be using these templates to learn from my approach. However, you can certainly pick and choose from these templates and decide to edit and reuse them. I give you full permission as a student of this course to utilize any of the email templates that are a part of this package. And you can simply replace words and phrases and sentences with things that are going to be relevant for your own product and reuse these emails. For example, let's say you wanted to use this one as a launch day email for a product that you're promoting. All you would have to do is just go in here and change the relevant parts of the email to truly be able to use it. The product name would simply replace Fresh Store Builder. You know, just read through the email and note the parts that are relevant to the product that I'm promoting and just change them to be relevant to the product you are promoting. So product name, what does that product do? You would replace that here. Fresh Store Builder, the ultimate Amazon affiliate site builder. If it was you know, some kind of software for niche research, you might say the ultimate niche research tool with my bonus bundle. You'll get my brand new exclusive, however, let's say I maybe did a 3-part video series with that. And then the only other thing I would need to change here is just the link. Point it off to a new page on my website for whatever, you know, that bonus page was that I wanted to be promoting. So Any of my emails in this email template package can be reused in this manner. You just simply change each of the different parts that have to do with what I was promoting and just change them into what you were promoting instead. And then you're ready to go. That email is now complete and could simply be reused. The top line of all of these, this is the subject that I was using for the email. So you can see this taking place in any of the emails that I include. This is always my subject, and then the rest of it is my actual email that I sent out. This particular one that I just opened here, one more good example here of something that I want to point out. I mentioned this to you earlier also, changing up the link sometime. For most of these promotions, I had a different link than this particular one. I had a link that was said Fresh Store Builder 6, whereas this one says FSB 6. The difference here in these links, this FSB 6 link is actually my affiliate link that goes to the Fresh Store Builder website. This is actually the same link that I have here on my bonus page. Goes to the same location. So all I did here in this particular email was, instead of promoting my bonus page, I promoted the sales page directly using, again, my affiliate link. This is a redirected affiliate link where I use the 301 Redirects plugin. I've talked to you guys about that previously. Since I bypassed my bonus page on this particular email though, it's worth noting what I did. I'm directing people straight to the sales page through my affiliate link, but since they're not going to see that bonus page, I need to talk about the bonuses that I'm going to be offering people. So I not only promote that page, but then I go on and detail what my bonus is really about. So all of these, Class 1, Class 2, so on and so forth, these are all the different videos that are part of my video series that I put together for Fresh Store Builder. So since they're not going to see that information being talked about here, since they're never going to land on this particular page, I wanted to make sure that all of that was detailed in this actual email. Again, this is just one of the emails from my entire promotion. Most of them use the bonus page to send people to, but I change it up every now and again and might direct them straight to the sales page at least once during a pretty in-depth campaign such as the one that I put together for Fresh Store Builder. So with that said, you should be able to see now how these email templates will be able to help you out, but also how you can kind of go through and pick and choose specific emails from my campaign and use them individually. You can combine, mix and match them, add in your own. Ultimately though, anything that is in my email template package, you have the rights to edit them to your heart's content and to reuse them with your own email promotions that you do. So now, it's really a question of, once we have all of these emails put together, we have kind of a plan for our email campaign. We know all the different topics that we want for each of our emails. Then we actually put the emails together, writing out a subject for each email, and then writing out the email itself. So then we have, a number of these text files sitting around, each of them for each of the emails that we sent out, and we just need to load all these emails up now into our newsletter. So I want to walk you through this process fairly quickly here. I'm going to try to show you on both of the websites in terms of Aweber and GetResponse, the two different email newsletter services that I have been showing you guys, just so you can see how this will actually work. So I'm on Aweber here. On Aweber, your broadcasts are the actual emails that you schedule to be sent out for these types of promotions. I'm on the drafts page for my broadcast. On pretty much any of the pages on Aweber though, you'll see this create a message button up here, and you can just click on this to get to the drag and drop email builder to begin setting up your email. So let's say I want to load up this particular email. I first take my subject, I load this up as the subject, then I take the rest of the email here and I load this up as the actual email name. Now depending on how you create these emails, you sometimes may have to go through, like you saw me doing there, and space out the lines. The other main thing you're going to have to worry about is the link. Whenever you put a link into one of these emails, you're going to want to copy the link. So I'll right click and copy it, and then go up here and click on the link button and add in that link. So now that turns that into a clickable HTML link instead of just being plain text. Once I have this whole email set up now, I'll usually go back and copy it through here just to make sure I get the formatting and everything the same. And now I need to load up a plain text version of it. So I'm going to click on plain text at the bottom, and I'm going to click on the custom tab, and I'm going to wipe out all of this information and replace it with my email. Now once again, you may have to go back through and make sure this is getting spaced out appropriately before you can actually leave it alone. So this is the basics of how to set up the email. You click Save and Exit, and now your email is here in your drafts. To actually send one of these emails on Aweber though, you have to go down to Send Options and click on Schedule a Broadcast. If you want to test it, you can always send a test email to yourself first before you actually go and schedule a broadcast though. In the Schedule a Broadcast section, you have two main things that you need to worry about. One is who will receive this message. If you have multiple email lists built up on the same service, you're going to see something like this, where you have a listing of all the different email lists that you want. If you want to include them all, you can just click like this to check them all and click on Apply, and that will include all of your email lists. You also have to worry about when the message is going to be emailed to people. By default, it's going to be set on immediately. So if I click on this green button right here, it's going to automatically start sending that email out to all of my subscribers. If you're setting up an email campaign though, if you have crafted, a number of different emails for the next week, you don't want to be sending these out immediately. You need to click on Edit here and define a date and a time in the future when that email will be sent. So maybe I want this one to go out on Tuesday at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'll set this one for Tuesday at 8. That way you can go through and you can plan your entire week's emails out, and you don't even necessarily have to be there that week. You can set all this stuff up before you go on vacation and be making money the entire time you're gone and not have to lift a single finger to actually make that money while you're gone on your vacation. So once you have scheduled a mail, you can see the date and the time will be loaded up here instead of saying immediately. I recommend turning off this option here also. Track clicks on website links in this message. If you're using a direct link, like you see me doing here, no matter what website it's for, any kind of a direct link, and then you're going to turn that into a clickable link, you really don't want the email newsletter services tracking those links. What's going to happen is a lot of the email newsletter services will look at your link. So in your email, people would see this link, but when it's turned into a trackable link, it actually changes the URL that people visit when somebody clicks. So what happens in an email newsletter or in an email service is they see one link, but then the clickable link is a completely different link. And sometimes that can get flagged as a potential phishing attempt, where, like, for example, somebody sends out like a fake PayPal email trying to get you to log into your account, and they have a link that says paypal.com, but when you click on it, it takes you to a completely different website. That's essentially what this is going to create. And I found that a lot of the emails will end up bouncing if you use this particular option with straightforward links like you see it here. The only way you can reliably use this tracking feature on a link is when you are not using actual addresses. For example, if I did not use this URL here, if I wiped that out, and instead, if I just wanted to turn this phrase right here into a clickable link, the link that I just got done deleting, that I could actually use the click tracking on, because the anchor text for that link is not an actual URL. That's the main thing there that you have to consider. If your anchor text will be a URL, do not use the link tracking. So now this email is set up. The only thing that I have to do to get this to actually be scheduled is to now click on Schedule Message. So that's going to schedule that email, and it will automatically get sent out on 8/16 at 8 o'clock in the morning. If you make a mistake, you can go back in and edit it. You can even go back through and unschedule your email if you want to. Now on GetResponse, this still works essentially the same way. Up here at the top, you have messages as a menu. You want to go to Create Newsletter. Click on the drag and drop email editor. And now you're going to be setting your subject line for your email here. So just like I did before, my subject will be going in this box. This message name field is just for your own reference. Usually what I will do is call it the product name, and I'll usually number them. If I have a different series of emails going out, I might have launch 1, launch 2, launch 3, and then, pre-sale 1, pre-sale 2, pre-sale 3, things of that nature. Nobody's ever going to see this message name except for you. One of the things with GetResponse is they actually allow you to change the emails that the messages are being sent from. This also gets into the reply to email. So if you wanted to encourage your audience to be responding to your email, to leave you an email reply, this is how you make sure that you're actually getting those emails to an address that you monitor. Once we move on to the next step, we are now going to be setting up our email. They have a lot of these fancy HTML templates. I actually used to try utilizing some of these. They don't seem to work all that great though. A lot of email services even block the images that are coming through on those, and so I really found that it's just not worth the extra time and the effort to put them together. What I do though is I click on Start from Scratch and I look for this blank template right here. And then I just simply do essentially the same thing you saw me do on Aweber. I start with a text block. I click and drag it over into the main part of the screen. And then I just want to copy my email right here. I select everything except for that header title and I paste my email in. The reason why I left this is because if you select your entire email and you paste from here, look what happens. It gets formatted based on that very first line that was showing up. So that is obviously not the way that I want to go. I'm just going to start over here. So when I just go up through here and I paste, then I get normal text. And then I can just highlight and delete. Just highlight and delete that initial bold text that is showing up at the top. So now the only thing I really have left to do is my link. Just like I did on Aweber, I click on link and I paste this into the URL box, and that turns into a clickable link now. The entire email also gets transferred into the plain text section, just like we did on Aweber. The only difference here is you want to click on the wrap long lines link. This is just going to make sure any long lines get pushed over to the next blank line. So our email here is all set up now. I can move on to the next step. In GetResponse, when you are scheduling your mail, you simply select the campaign or campaigns that you want that to be sent out to. If you want it going to everybody, you just click on all, and it will select everybody and automatically add all of your subscribers in together. Sometimes though, it can be useful to actually exclude certain people from receiving an email. What I mean by that is if you know that certain people on your email list have already purchased a product, then there's no point in continuing to promote that product to those people. So if you can track who buys which products from you, then you can annoy those people less once they purchase a product by simply excluding them from future mailings for that particular product. Now in theory, this sounds really awesome. The only problem is that in practice, it's a little more complicated to actually pull it off. And so on most of my promotions, I don't bother with tracking who is buying the product and who isn't. However, on certain promotions that I do, I will track that. If I have a really strong feeling that the promotion is going to do well, and especially if I know that I've put together a large bonus campaign for that particular promotion. If I'm going to be sending out a lot of emails for that promotion, then ultimately I might consider doing the tracking for it. So to do the tracking, I started showing you guys this in a previous class. When you request your affiliate link for a product on JVZoo, on that same page, you can integrate an email newsletter service and actually have people that buy the product added onto an email newsletter list. Well, that is how you build your list of who is buying a particular product. Just for example, here's a fresh store builder one that I actually tried to track. Explaindio, I actually tracked. So a number of at least 2 of the 3 email campaigns that I gave you guys as part of this series, I actually tracked those because I had a pretty significant indication that they were going to be performing really well. So if I was tracking them separately, let's say maybe I wanted to exclude all of the Fresh Store Builder people from this particular promotion, I just come down here to exclude recipients, and I can exclude a particular list of people from being included in that particular promotion. So then emails that go out are not going to be bothering the same people over and over again if they have already purchased that product. When you get to this point, the one thing I recommend is to take a look at your spam score right here. You want to see what you see on my screen. You don't want to be seeing any numbers in between these parentheses here. If you do, go back to your previous steps, consider rewriting your email, changing the subject of your email even. Some of those things are likely what is causing your spam score to go up. When you click on send here, it'll automatically send that email out to all the recipients that you have designated. So this would be an immediate send. If you wanted to schedule this in the future though, you click on schedule. You go down here to set your delivery date and time. So I could do this one for the same time as the other one that I was showing you guys. 8 a.m. on the 16th, and this would schedule it up to send out at that time. And then you just click on schedule to go ahead and get that set up. So you can certainly go through ahead of time and set up all of the emails for an entire campaign like this, and then just simply not worry about it anymore. One other thing that can be useful to do, and this is something that I mentioned that I did with one of my campaigns where I sent out an email, but I only sent it to the people that did not open my previous email. To do something like that, you simply want to find the email that you sent out the first time, the one that you want to target all of the unopened people on. So on Get Response here, you can find the most recent one by just scrolling down below. It'll say last newsletter, and you just click on the name of it, and it's going to take you to this screen that you see here. Now I can email a specific group. All of the people that did not open the email, I can just click on email group right here, and it's going to take me to start creating an email for those people. Doing it this way, I wouldn't have to select who's going to receive this email or not, because I've actually already done that. Now I just go through and create an email just like I had shown you previously, except this email will only go out to the people that did not open that previous email that I was trying to track. The same thing can be done on Aweber. You find your sent emails that have gone out, click on View Stats for that email. Oh, you gotta be kidding. Unfortunately, it seems like Aweber has decided to do maintenance during my webinar, so it doesn't look like I can show you that. On Aweber, it basically still works the same way. It's just going to look different. This page is going to give you a graph on who has opened the mail, what times they opened the email. A little further down the page, you'll have a list of the people that have opened it and the people that have not opened it. And then ultimately, you can just send an email directly to the people that have not opened that particular email on Aweber, just like on GetResponse. Unfortunately, though, it does not look like I'm going to be able to show you that, at least in this live class. I might have to create a separate video for that later on. So once you have gone through all of these emails, you plan them out, you get them written, and then you just go into your newsletter service and you load all of these emails up and go ahead and get them scheduled. And then you can just sit back and watch the sales roll in, monitor the stats, and make adjustments if needed. Now, if for some reason you don't have enough time before a launch begins to write the entire series of emails out, you can certainly write these emails as you go. But the reason why I recommend kind of planning everything out ahead of time is just so you can clearly figure out, which benefits, which different angles are you going to try to promote. Sometimes you can even string your email topics together where, if you're teaching things to them in your emails especially, you can kind of give them a little bit of a teaser of what's coming next and give them a reason to want to look for that next email of yours. Ultimately, though, this can kind of operate however you want it to. If you would prefer to sit down once a week, put together your affiliate promotion, write your entire campaign and go ahead and schedule it up and then not touch it for the entire week, you can certainly do it that way. If you want to kind of follow it day by day and write your emails as you go, you could certainly do it that way too. I just think you will typically find the best results from kind of planning the entire campaign out from the get-go. Now finally, I want to briefly mention other traffic. This is not a necessity. You can certainly do nothing but your email newsletter and do extremely well from these JVZoo promotions. However, if you do have other sources of traffic that you may be able to utilize, I would certainly encourage you to do so. For example, a lot of the bonus pages that I create, I put them on a public website of mine as my recommended products. Even though it may not be a lot of traffic, it's certainly nowhere near as much as I can drive from my email newsletter, but still that website and those pages sitting there attract some traffic on their own. Some of them get Google search rankings and bring in traffic and convert some of it into sales. I also have a YouTube audience. I think I'm somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 3,000 plus subscribers or something there now. So when I create a pre-launch video or a review video or something like that for one of these affiliate promotions, I can make sure that that video gets promoted to my YouTube audience. And I can make sure they have a link to get from that video back to the bonus page on my own website. The same thing can also be done with Facebook. If you have a Facebook group or a fan page or just a personal page where audience members are following you, you could certainly share a link to your bonus page on those different Facebook areas. You can even promote these things as a Facebook ad. If you're gonna promote an offer through Facebook with an advertisement, I simply recommend to start out slow. Sometimes they can work really well and convert a lot of sales if you have, a good targeted audience to advertise it to. Other times they can be complete bombs. So I really don't recommend diving into Facebook ads on every single launch that you do. But sometimes, if you start promoting a product and it's converting really, really well, your audience is loving it, that's when I think about at least going over to Facebook and running an advertisement for it too. Because I already know that it is selling well. I already know that people are enjoying the product. And so it kind of has those extra things going for it that I don't really have to worry about. I don't have to convince people to buy the product that way. And it's a lot more likely that I'll end up with Facebook ad sales from something like that. On my average promotion that I do though, I don't do any Facebook advertising or paid advertising of any sort for that matter. Large majority of them, I just do my email newsletters and the bonus page on my own website, and then usually getting my YouTube audience involved in it because I'm often publishing videos on YouTube that they're going to get access to. So those are my main traffic sources. If I wiped out everything except for the email newsletter, it would still do just fine though. So do not think that you have to have these extra traffic sources. But if you have them, by all means, utilize them. The more traffic you can drive to these affiliate links, especially when it's targeted traffic, then simply the better off you're going to be. So finally, we get to our classwork checklist. I've kind of already gone through this, I guess, in this class already. Everything you want to be doing up through this point. Plan out your emails for your campaign, whether it is just launch emails or a combination of launch and pre-launch emails. Each of those should basically have a different angle to them, a different way you're trying to convince your audience to purchase that product. Then you want to write out those campaign emails based on those different angles that you want to target. Once you have them written, load them up and schedule them in your newsletter service, and then simply follow the results from those campaigns, and if needed, make adjustments to them. If they're performing extremely well, add more emails to it. Add in some extra bonus. There's been a number of times, a couple days into a launch, it's selling super, super well, and I just decide to make some extra training or make some extra bonuses for it and throw it in there. Anybody that had already purchased, they still get this new stuff. It's just kind of an extra incentive to convince the people that are still on the fence to go ahead and make a purchase. On the opposite end of that spectrum, I've also completely canceled campaigns before that have not been going very well. So simply use the results that you are getting to determine whether or not it is worth pushing a particular promotion even harder than you are already doing, or even whether it's worth scaling it back. I would now like to go ahead and open the floor up to open Q&A. If you have any questions for me about putting your affiliate promotions together, or honestly for the entire Zoo Masterclass series, seeing as how this is the final class, I welcome any questions you may have at this time. Just simply punch them into the chat box for me. If I'm in the middle of answering somebody already, I will get to yours as quickly as I possibly can. Thank you, Barry. I appreciate that. Glad you found that useful. Joe, how do I go about canceling a campaign? Those scheduled emails that you set up in Aweber and or GetResponse, whichever service you are using, in Aweber, they're going to be under your broadcast. So you'll see the scheduled emails here. That one that I set up originally, I clicked on the unschedule button. It was over here on the right-hand side. In GetResponse, you just go to Messages and My Newsletters, and you're going to see anything that is set up here. If you want to cancel something, you can just click back on it. Sometimes you'll even have these actions available for your use. Just kind of depends on whether you're wanting to like edit it or completely delete it or something like that. I guess there's kind of multiple ways to go about it that way. Yes, basically, you just stop the emails being sent out. In a worst case scenario, if you think it's really going to harm your reputation by even having it still there, if you have a bonus page for it that you had previously promoted, you could decide to pull that bonus page down, or even replace the promotion there on that bonus page with some general information about, maybe why you decided to stop promoting the product or something like that. Yes, Barry, the retargeting info about when people get sent an email to only send like a follow-up email to people that didn't open the first email. Stuff like that can be really useful, in my opinion. I find it useful to try to go after a different angle on a promotion. You send out an email, it has a certain subject. That subject line is really only going to attract certain people. You can basically craft a completely different subject line and a different angle to go about targeting it, and then you just send it to the people that didn't read your previous email. On the other hand, you can even go a different angle with that and actually remail the people that did open a product already. You can actually get a little complicated with your targeting once you get a little familiar with it. For example, let's say on the JVZoo website, you are tracking the people that are buying this product by adding them to a newsletter list. Then you send out an email promoting the product. Some people open the email and end up buying it. You could then send out a second email that targeted the people who did open that first email, but did not actually go through and complete a purchase on that product by, including the people that opened the email, and then you would actually exclude anybody that was already put on that list that you're creating from the people that are buying that product. Let's see, Joe, you just set up a product as a seller. Yeah, it is a quite different experience. It's that kind of stuff. It isn't really something that I planned on teaching as part of this course. If you have some questions for me, you know, I wouldn't mind. Next, I'm pretty sure I still have at least a few more coaching calls to do with you, Joe. I wouldn't mind discussing some of those things in a coaching call with you, the next one we do or whatever, just to answer those questions you might have. But yeah, being a JVZoo vendor, selling your own products, there's a lot to it, I guess. I could do a whole separate training series on that subject, to be honest. Um, Brian, what do I think about using video software? Yeah, like the new one on JVZoo called Doodly. I I did not, mainly because of this training series. I've kind of put a lot of my affiliate promotions to the side to make sure I get all of these, you know, classes planned and put together well. Doodly was something I was actually looking at and was considering getting out a promotion for it towards the end of the launch. I do I do think video software like that is useful. I promoted Explaindio, both the 1.0 and the 2.0 version, and did extremely well with those promotions. And I even used the software myself for a number of different reasons. I think for the average marketer, video software like that is really useful because even if they don't want to do some kind of flashy, you know, animated type of a video, a lot of times just trying to do simple video editing and things like that can be really, really painful to try to figure it out. Um, I use I use Adobe software. I also went to college and actually learned how, you know, a lot of those Adobe titles are used, I guess, correctly, even though I don't really utilize my college learning um, except for everything that I learned having to do with like Adobe software. But um, Adobe Premiere Pro, for example, is um, is a really complicated video editing software. I use it. I have a lot of experience with it though. For the average marketer, I would I'd hate to see somebody try to figure that out, I guess. So in that regard, I think the video software titles that are being released by other marketers, they're a lot more toned down and simplified as opposed to the professional software. It gives you a million options that you're probably never going to use, and it just helps to make everything not so complicated. Um, oh, as opposed to the video software that I promoted recently. Are you referring? I'm trying to think of whether there was something besides Explaindio that I promoted recently as far as video software. You might be talking about possibly the Facebook Live thing. It was video software, but not video creation software. It was more like video streaming software, I guess. Um, I believe I believe Doodly to be something completely different than that, although I've not quite yet had a chance to dive into it. Um, I can try to help walk you through some of the approval steps, Joe. I guess once we talk privately for our next call with getting approved for selling a product on JVZoo. Um, they they have a number of different things that they are looking for when they approve a product. And honestly, if you're trying to sell a fairly expensive product, I don't know for sure whether they will approve you on a higher price limit product without previous sales records on JVZoo. Um, I know what you're talking about, though. I've had to go through twice, and in the past at least, and kind of get that price limit upped on my account, so I could eventually sell, um, you know, like coaching programs and things of that nature, as opposed to just normal products. Oh, you sent in the ticket. They'll usually get back to you, um, typically within a day or two, or at least in my experience. It's been a little while since I last had to go through that process, though. So I guess it's possible that, you know, they could be a little faster or slower than they used to be. Okay, Brian, one-click video site builder. One-click video site builder was um, a software that pulls the videos off of YouTube and puts them up onto your own website, creating the pages for you automatically. It's it's developed by George Katsoudas, a really, really great guy. Um, Offers some of the best customer support that I see out there, especially among, George actually develops a couple of Amazon products as well. He's behind Associate Goliath, which is actually one of the three campaigns that I put in the template package for you guys, was actually for one of his launches. So I I do have some really good opinions about that product and the developer of it. Um, Mostly because I've known George since the very first product launch that I ever did of my own back in like 2010 or something. He's basically been one of my affiliates, and I've basically been one of his affiliates ever since then, because I feel like he's a lot like me. He puts a lot of focus on quality, even though I guess the one main difference, he doesn't actually develop his plugins. He outsources. But other than that, I have wonderful opinions of George. I think it's completely different software though from Doodly though, if I'm not mistaken though. But again, I have not actually had the chance to dive into Doodly. I have a copy sitting on my computer waiting for me, but I've not opened it yet. let's see, Barry was asking about JVZoo and how do you know, like if they buy the product or whatever. Give me one moment and I will show you how that works. Okay, so on JVZoo, when you're looking at your approved product list, go to affiliates, go to approved products. You find the product that you want, click on it to get to this affiliate information page. This is the autoresponder integration that you are looking for. This is how you track who is buying a specific product from you. So you could then use that in your email targeting if you wanted to, mainly to exclude these people from, getting future emails for this particular promotion. I've never connected Aweber to JVZoo. I'm not 100% sure whether this will work or not with Aweber, but with GetResponse, it definitely will. You load up your defaults, which puts your API key in here. Then you can create a list for it. The one thing, though, that I recommend doing, I think I'm going to have to load this up to show you. The one thing I recommend doing, though, notice how all of my GetResponse list names start. They all start with the letters JVZ and then an underscore. This is actually really, really important. If I'm creating a list, say I wanted to create a list for people that bought Explaindio. I can't type today. I would do this. I'm giving it a name, something that I can recognize to follow. The beginning part, though, the JVZ underscore, this actually allows the GetResponse newsletter to be single opt-in. So when somebody buys this product, they're going to be added onto this list, and they're not going to have to essentially confirm. They're not going to get that email saying, response required, click on the link to confirm, and blah, blah, blah. They automatically get put on the list if you are using the JVZ underscore beginning. And again, this is only for GetResponse. It just seems to be some kind of special deal that JVZoo and GetResponse worked out. I think before JVZoo came along, GetResponse was not doing single opt-in, and so this is kind of a way that it was enabled for people using JVZoo to be able to get that single opt-in. Now there is still kind of a way around this. When you're buying a product, I'm sure all of you have probably bought something off of JVZoo before. When you're buying a product, you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the checkout page, and it's giving you, little bullet points having to do with the sale. It'll mention like your IP address and things like that down there. There's going to be a couple of checkboxes on that page where you can get or opt out of future updates about like the product or from the vendor or whatever. If somebody unchecks those checkboxes, they're not going to get automatically added to this email list through this autoresponder integration. So it's not 100% guaranteed that every single person that buys will end up on your list in this manner. But this is certainly a way that you can track at least most people that are buying a specific product. Or if you're building a free list of people, if you want to figure out the people that are actually buying from you, you could track a separate buyers list using this particular tactic too. Uh, Joe, I'm not 100% sure if you can combine two different lists in GetResponse to like just merge them into one list, basically. Um, I've never really looked into whether it can do that or not, to be honest. But basically, like in GetResponse, if you build a lot of these different buyer lists from each promotion that you do, but you're tracking the promotions separately, ultimately, if you want to go and send an email to all of those people and you select all of those email lists, anybody that's a duplicate on multiple email lists of yours, they're not going to receive multiple emails from you as long as you're setting, it all up together. You set up one email and then you select all of your lists to be included in that mail. It'll automatically get rid of duplicates and stuff like that and not send them an email twice. So I'm not sure if you were wondering about it for that particular reason or not, but it's at least one thing you don't really have to worry about. Well, I believe I have answered everybody's questions that have been put in so far. If I either missed your question or if you have something else you'd like to ask me, please get that in the chat box for me in the next minute or two. You're quite welcome, Joe. I've been happy to have you part of this. And let's see, Brian is asking about how long do we have to finish our coaching calls. No time limit or anything, Brian. Whether it's, later this month or even, a year from now or something, I won't put any kind of time restrictions on that. So schedule them when they work best for you. And obviously based on, where you are in the series. If for some reason you are feeling pretty good about all the training and you feel like you just don't need the coaching call at this point in time and you want to save it for, a few months down the road or something to get me to look at how you're doing then, I don't mind at all. However you want to set up those coaching calls is quite okay with me. Thank you, Laura. I really appreciate it. Glad to have you a part of it, and look forward to finishing up your rest of your calls whenever you're ready to continue on those. Thank you, Brian. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend as well. And I really appreciate that too, Barry. I'm glad this has been the best coaching you've ever been on. Happy to try to help all of you guys out, and I look forward to continuing to work with you guys going into the future to make sure you get all this applied and put into action and start having your own success with it. Again, if you have any more coaching calls to schedule, just do those through the members area of the website whenever you are ready to do them, whether that is this week or, anytime going into the future. All of these training classes and any other benefits that have been included along with the series will remain up in the members area indefinitely, so you can always return there if you ever want to revisit any of this training. And I may eventually do some editing on these longer webinar recordings and kind of break them apart into, smaller, easier to digest pieces. If I do any additional work like that with this training series, that will also be updated in the members area, and you guys will get access to all that for free. I really appreciate all of you joining the JVZoo Masterclass, and I've honestly enjoyed this quite a bit. It's been my favorite coaching program that I've ever done. Honestly, I think a lot of the reason why is because I've been able to, do actual phone calls with you guys and get to interact with you personally and learn a little more about you. And it's made a big difference for me too. I've truly enjoyed every minute of it, to be honest. So I thank all of you once again for being a part of it, and I look forward to helping you out in the future. Please feel free to get in touch with me if I can be of any special assistance to you in some way, or if you have any questions for me going into the future. Thank you all again. Hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I wish you all the best of luck with putting the Zoo Masterclass into action. Good night, everyone.